Selling out isn't making a good deal. Selling out is going against your convictions, going against your principles. And I would rather have one great consulting client a month or every quarter, whatever happens, than to get 10, 20, 30 substandard people. So with that on the pricing, you're going to pay. Why do most internet businesses fail? And I had to think about it because it was about, online B-school and other things. And part of it is many people think it's going to be easy. You see the wonderful, colorful ads on Facebook all over the place about start your online business, use this system, and you'll be making the money very quickly without a lot of effort. And it's just simply not true. It's a joke now because DSL is slow compared to 4G on your phone. Oh, you look at that stuff and you don't look at the full picture. I have a friend who listened to me, who's a writer. She wanted to write X, Y, and Z. And I said, if you want to make money, write this. And for your artistic pursuits, and it's just not even close to being true. What you're going to go through, because I thought about it, why most online businesses fail, and I came up with a list. Number one is fear. Biggest reason, hands down. Bigger than no money, bigger than no talent, fear. Fear, because I spent a great deal of time studying people who are starting businesses that no one really knows about, because there are certain social figures that we like to talk about and look at and just kind of peek into their mind. And some of those people became wealthy because of circumstance and not because they didn't work hard. But you can't duplicate what Microsoft did in terms of timing. Microsoft, Apple, they all came in at the apex when we were moving into a new revolution of computing. I remember being in the neighborhood. I was the first person to get DSL in the neighborhood. And write what you want to write, but write these books to make money and write this stuff that you want to write. And she did it, got the money coming in, and she wrote a book. Now, this is what's funny. She absolutely hated the book. She wrote it. She says, I don't like the subject material. It was just flights of fancy, blah, 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 blah. Upload that sucker to Kindle. That book now makes her about $1,800 a month, that one book, the one she hates. Now, the book that she loves sells 1 to 2 copies every 3 months. She won't make $1,800 for that book in maybe a few years, maybe 10 years. It might take 10, 12 years. And then she wrote some more books she wasn't particularly happy with. And she lives off that now. And we talk about it because she's just like, I just don't understand. And I'm trying to explain to you that if you build a business where people already are, you're going to be more successful than building a business and raising up your pen and having them to come. This is one of the reasons I just switched the message of the channel, because the way I see it, due to circumstance, due to the changing world, more and more of you are going to have to start an online business. There's a lot of you who want to start an online business, or perhaps are curious about starting an online business, but you have no burning desire to start an online business. And the people with the burning desire are going to win over the folks who are merely curious, interested, or are forced into it. There are many of you who will be forced into it because you won't be able to find a job. You won't be able to make the money you want to make where you're living. You can't move. You got to do something. And you're reading all these stories. And I think that we're in the infancy of online business creation. Last number was 12% of all commerce was done online. That's going to change tremendously. Tremendously. You're going to see new businesses. You're going to see new niches. You're going to see all kinds of things going to happen. And for those folks who are learning, because I used to be, let's just put it this way. My partner used to crack on me talking about you're in love with eBay. You go to all these conferences, eBay. Now I can't stand it. So what you start off with may not be the thing that you'll end up with, because I never saw myself doing this in terms of full-time living. Never saw it coming. I always thought I would be a reseller. I always thought I'd be a person flipping stuff. Now, one thing that I did that was really smart on my part was, even with the eBay, Amazon thing going, I never stopped developing real businesses. And when I say real businesses, it's a business that has all of the compartments of prospecting, presentation, closing, customer service, doing the job, manage. Yeah, I never stopped that. And I'm glad, because it's those skills that enabled me to make a go at the writing thing. And all of that is predicated on fear. Many people are just so scared that if they do it and it doesn't work out, that they're somehow substandard as a human being, that they are unworthy of love and attention. So they're just like, I'm going to take the so-called prescribed route of being safe, of going to school, getting a job, because that's deemed safe. If you Google this guy, I want you to do some work. His name is Andrew McAfee, MIT professor. Google him and see what he and his partner study. Just Google that, because it'll blow your mind and it may scare you. But fear. Now, the next thing is lack of effort, which kind of goes back to not having that burning desire. Not really, really, I just want to make a little extra money, because many people have this false thought process of they're going to just come online and make it big and do what they want to do and be where they want to be very, very quickly. And if it doesn't happen quickly, then it's a scam. And really, as I put up in the video the other day, are you hustling? Are you really hustling hard? Are you hustling hard enough? And I've talked to scores of people, and the general consensus is people are unhappy. They want to do something different. They want to build something, but that effort part, that let's really jump into it, let's really make it happen, let's build something, let's create something, that intellectual curiosity, that, well, we tried that, but it didn't work, but this lesson, no, it's just like, I want my success, I want my money, let's make it happen. And you see many people fall by the wayside. When I was in the military on road marches, because we had to use these crazy people, because I was on a station in Hawaii, 25th ID. And Kaneohe, I forget the name of it. Kaneohe Pass is where the Japanese came through to attack Pearl Harbor, where our base was. When you run up the Kaneohe Pass, it is a gradual incline all the way up. So you're running uphill, and it's seductively hard, because you're running just like, wait a minute, your legs start feeling like rubber and everything. Then he's just like, you see people falling to the wayside, and he's just like, I look back to the wayside, and he started laughing and started running faster. I was like, motherfucker. And that's what we were doing. And that's what's happening with many of you because of lack of effort. Because, give you an example. I plan to do this video this morning, and I got in my email box. There was a lot of issues. There was a lot of things going on that I had to handle. I just had to handle it. But there are many people who blew off doing this video, but it's on the schedule. I got to do it. Doesn't matter if I feel like doing it. That doesn't matter, because action points, effort is what gets you over, not talent, not luck. And there was something else. Someone was saying, well, a lot of people, this guy was talking about the rich people, and it's just like, an incredible amount of luck goes into people becoming wealthy. And I really don't believe that. I look at people like take Cornelius Vanderbilt or let me see if I still save that and if I have his name. He built something and luck didn't have anything to do with it. It wasn't luck. It was effort and a certain level of ruthlessness. I will say that there may be a certain level of ruthlessness that goes into that, but no, I didn't save it because there was this one thing. Because if you didn't know, the richest person in the world of all time was a black guy in Africa many, many years ago. Estimated net worth was like 400 billion. That was a long, long time ago. And I thought I had it on my phone. But the whole point is that people who become wealthy frequently, and I know people who are rich, they work. You know, yeah, I know some trust. I've dated some trust fund babies, and they just have it like that because someone in the family worked. Someone built something. Someone created something. Someone made it happen. Someone was forward thinking. But, you know, it just gives people reasons to say, well, luck made it happen. So I don't have to work that hard because they just got lucky. And if you see someone who's successful and then that's your first thought and that just pops in your head, you have adapted loser mentality before you even begun. So it makes it easy to have lack of effort. Another reason that most online businesses fail, there's no plan. You see a monkey online, or you see a giraffe, or you see a donkey, and you're like, well, if the donkey can do it, so can I. And you start doing it. There's no plan. There's no framework. In Project YouTube, I'm talking, you know, I hadn't got to a section about equipment because, you know, just to jump into it, YouTube, and this is something I do every day and I study it. YouTube is the indexing, meaning that they're not giving favor to older videos in standard definition. Because if you look at your feed and look at what's being recommended to you, everything is 720 to 1080, and it's going up to 4K or 2160. In the future, you will have to go hunt and look for those standard definition videos frequently because they're not going to be recommended because of the poor quality, which in terms of equipment, you can start your YouTube channel with your phone and that will get you started. That will get you subscribers. I mean, if you have this, you have a very powerful thing. You go ahead and get yourself a little stand and you can make some great videos with this, but there's limitations because I can now pick up, and it's kind of strange. It's really strange because even if it's 1080p, all 1080p is not the same. When I go to someone's video and it says 1080p and then I blow it up because I've got, you know, this iMac and it's all diffused and fuzzy. You can see the noise and the grain. Then there's someone that's got like 1080p from maybe a Canon Mark D and it blows up and there is no noise. There is no grain in this. It's sharper because when you hit the toggle and go to 10, it's sharper because of the quality of the camera and the clarity. And at some point, that'll be standard. I mean, at some point, you're going to have phones, probably maybe 5-8 years from now, will have the kind of quality in terms of their cameras as a very high-end DSLR. It's coming, but it's not here yet. So part of effort is, if you're building, part of having a plan is you're going to have to upgrade your equipment. And many people just like, hey, this little kid does her stuff on iPhone blogs, and she made 1.8 million. Different demographic, but that's just kind of the falsehoods and things that are being spread around because people don't have a plan and they're not invested. Which brings me to my next point: a failure to really understand business. The internet, Web 3.0, 5. Wherever the heck we are, many people look at, say, Uber, or they'll look at a venture capital business. Uber, Amazon, these are businesses that had so much potential that they were able to convince people to give them millions of dollars, and in some cases, hundreds of millions of dollars. These businesses did not have to make any money because they had a chunk of money to work with while the business was being developed. Many people see that and they get in their head, I don't have to make money immediately. I can just kind of do some stuff, see how it goes. That's going to be very dangerous thinking in the future. You're going to need to pop up, get into your thing with a plan, with some goals for the future. You're going to have to do that. And there's just this fundamental disregard for business things. One of the reasons that this channel has been able to survive the turn, because I was a storage auction guy, and then I started doing internet marketing, and there was a lot of people who came for the storage auction popcorn. They didn't want the internet marketing popcorn, and they're like, it's popcorn, but I don't like that flavor, so I'm not eating, which is just life. That's just reality. It's not a good thing or a bad thing. It's just how it is. So the reason I made that turn is this channel has always sold things to make money. If I was dependent upon AdSense, I mean, never would have been able to live off that ever. And I'll tell you, in its heyday, it was like $1,500 a month when it was really bumping. Then YouTube, and this is a fundamental thing in business, conditions will change. When will they change? Can't say, but they will change. Got cut in half, and then they changed the algorithm. It went down some more. And it was funny because I was getting more views, making less money, because they opened up the partnership program to everybody. So the pot of money was finite. It was not an infinite amount of money. It was a finite amount of money. And then it started going to all of these other people. Quarter here, $1 there. It diffused the pot. So when you see that, and I saw YouTubers losing their minds, it's just like, hey, YouTube, I can't pay my rent. Hey, YouTube, I got to get a job. Hey, YouTube. And I'm just cracking up. YouTube does not owe you a living. I mean, people were mad. They wanted to sign petitions. I was just like cracking up. It's like, you just don't understand, boo-boo. That's a business. When you signed up for this channel and they had you check this little box with terms of service agreement, they put all of that stuff in there that, hey, we can do this anytime we want to. Not their fault that you didn't read it. I read it. Took me a while, and everything that they're covered. You can't sue them. You can do the social threat, or you can get convict them in a court of public opinion. But good luck with that. So that's just a failure to really understand business. That's a big problem with many people who come online trying to start a business because eyeballs, or they're going to provide a service that no one wants. I'll tell you, I had about 80 failures this year because I'm always trying stuff. It's just a lot of stuff people say, I don't want it. I don't like, nope, it looks good, but I don't want it. That's just reality. And that's one of the things that a lot of your ideals and concepts and things you come up with, most people are not going to give a shit about. That's reality. Another reason, and it's kind of similar, no regard to the fundamentals of business, which is you got to have someone to buy your products. You got to have something that someone wants. YouTube has intoxicated people because there are a lot of YouTubers who are making 6 figures from just putting up videos because they have enough charisma, talent, production ability, production value that they get enough people to watch their videos that their AdSense checks are 10, 20, 30, 40, 50, or some people 100 grand a month. Okay. Those people are rainbows and unicorns. You see them, you hear about them, but do you know a unicorn? Can you touch a rainbow? Nope. So what I'm saying is that kind of thing is totally out of reach of the average person. I know it's like, oh, you're telling us, my mama told me I could be whatever I want. Miss Johnson in the 2nd grade said, you can go far, young man. You can go far, young woman. And I'm here to tell you bullshit. If you don't have those abilities, there's only one LeBron James in the NBA for a reason. He's a unicorn. Michael Jordan was probably one of the greatest NBA unicorns of all time. There's a reason that these people only come along so often, because they're atypical, they are special, they are rare. And then people are like, well, if so-and-so did that, they can inspire you to raise your game. They can be a standard that you try to reach, because say you're playing your game here, and then you look at Mike and you watch the channel, and then all of a sudden you increase your game 80% or 100%. That's a win, but you're not going to be Michael Jordan. You could be the guy that owned the team, but you won't be Michael Jordan. And that's one of the reasons that I've created, Online B School. You have a better chance of starting a YouTube channel, a website, a blog, an Instagram account, a Facebook page, and having a product or service to sell immediately of making livable income in 6 to 12 months than depending upon ad revenue. Because that's the big game. And it works for some people. Like I said, there are some people who are doing it. They're doing it big. They're making crazy money. But some other things you have to look at, because I'm a student of YouTube. I study YouTube. Whenever I go to someone's channel, first thing I do is I go to their about page and I look at when they got started, and then I go to their videos and I look at their old videos. There was one girl who, to me, and that's just my opinion, she's not really that remarkable. I'm just like, how the hell? Then I went back. She was one of the first people on YouTube, like 2006. And let's talk about this. And this goes back to the fundamentals of business. 2006, there was no Facebook. There was MySpace and there was YouTube. And a lot of these kids, because if you go back to the older videos and go to the comments, some of these people would put up a video and get literally 1,000 subscribers in one day, because the video would go up, and then it really started with the kids, and they would go take it to their high school, and it would spread from one high school to another, to another, to another. So they'll get all these views and subscribers on literally very pedestrian videos because there was no competition. Now there's crazy competition. YouTube, Facebook, Vine, Snapchat, Twitter, maybe, what is it? Kick. There's so many elements and things of social media that pulls from the attention pool, that there's a lot of competition that didn't exist in 2006. It didn't exist in 2007. Didn't exist in 2008. Didn't exist in 2009. And there's more to come. So that's part of the reason that most people fail with their online businesses, because of unrealistic expectations, a crazy thought process. And I think I should have did this under fear, but I'm going to say number two should be a lack of patience. If you have no business experience, and even if you have a good mentor, even if you watch my videos, even if you take my course, that's just going to give you 10, 20%. You're still going to have to go out there and do what you need to do. You're still going to have to go out there and meet with customers, entertain people, get people to come to you, build stuff, go through crazy learning curves, and that's another thing. This is another thing. Another reason that people fail with their online businesses is they don't understand the internet. When you make a purchase, you just take your credit card, put it in, use your Google Wallet, Apple Pay, whatever, and it's just like, and it's so simple. Do you realize on the front end what you're doing looks simple, but when you go behind the curtain in the back end, it is so complex what happens with payments. Do you have a certification? Because see, this is the thing, and this is one of the reasons I don't take direct credit card payments. And what that means is I don't have a merchant account where you come to my website and you pay me, because you've got to have certain security, you have to have certain certificates, and I do not store credit cards. If you store credit cards and your site gets hacked and people are harmed, you're liable and can be sued. That's the back. That's the back end of the deal. There's so much that goes on with payment technology, receiving payments, that you don't even think about because you're a consumer. Then you take your consumer mindset and then you're like, whoa, I didn't know all this stuff. That's why there's so many payment systems. And everything I use is like secondary. I don't deal with the risk. I get the money, I give them a little bit more money versus transaction fees. But to me, it's cool because I don't want to deal with that. I don't really want to deal with it because it's going to get crazier because everyone is open to being hacked now. So if you got a bunch of credit cards sitting on your server, you get hacked and people start getting there and they trace back the hack to you. I hope you have very good liability insurance because people are becoming smarter and people want to be made whole again and they're coming after you. So that's another thing about the fundamentals of business, understanding your exposure and liability. That's another reason, like I get many people, it's like, hey, what about taxes? I absolutely refuse to talk about taxes because there's certain things that are general, but per the city, per the county, per the state, per the country level, there's just so many nuances that you can have two people who look identical, but they've got one variable in their life that makes their tax situation incredibly complex and different than the other person. And there is no, like I am talking about LLCs in the course. And one of the things that I did, I went out and hired a professional to advise me on what to tell you. I can create a corporation. I can do an LLC, an S Corp. I can do all that. But I reached out, spent the money to get better information for the people who are taking my courses because the shit keeps changing. It just keeps changing. So part of putting together your online business is understanding the fundamentals and really being real with yourself. Now, another reason that most online businesses fail, people are hoping to luck into good luck, good fortune and money. I don't know how many YouTubers or people, it's like, well, I don't really, it's just like, I left it up to the Lord. Well, I was at the right place at the right time, because people do not want to take responsibility for success. And also people don't want to take responsibility for failure. So this almost kind of works because then you become that person. Take Kanye West. I have never seen someone who has accomplished so much because he's his own person. Like him or hate him, he's his own person and he speaks his mind. And I've seen the record sales. I've seen what he's done. Another side of that, of someone who's just as much, in my opinion, a musical genius, is Pharrell. And because he chooses to dress in a different way, all of a sudden he's gay, all of this other stuff, because people are insanely jealous of the success of both of them. These people do what they love and they make fantastic amount of money doing what they love, being their own person. I was on Facebook and someone had put up a video of what happens when Kanye West is sitting next to you on the plane. He has his laptop open. He was just working on the beat. And it was just like, even when he's just sitting there in his own world doing this thing, he's interesting. It's just really, really funny. And that's another thing that many people are not successful with their online business. Jealousy. I've seen so many people, because like I said, I'm doing all this stuff with Project YouTube. So I spent probably half the day on YouTube evaluating channels. And I saw this one girl and she's just like the big YouTubers and you don't need to spend all this money. Then I went to her channel because she was upset that she wasn't getting the shine that she wanted. Her channel is horrible. It's hard. If it was a monster, it would be a jacked up werewolf, missing an arm, fangs all fucked up. I mean, her production value is non-existent. All her videos are grainy. She doesn't know how to speak. She doesn't know how to compose a shot. She doesn't know how to do her frame. I mean, it's just a walking fucking hot mess. And I'm just like, no wonder no one's watching these videos. But she feels, and she's in a very competitive niche of fashion, makeup. And her makeup game, I'm just sitting there like, self-awareness is one of the most valuable things you can have in life. She is completely clueless to just how horrible her channel is. I mean, it's terrible. But you can't tell her nothing. It's horrible. She did one video, and I watch it because I wasn't watching it for educational purposes. I was watching it because I like looking at why people fuck up and fail. And she did this video. There was like, maybe it was 10 minutes long, and it was about 4.5 minutes where she was just looking off here, not talking, pauses. If she had correctly edited that video down, it would have been about 3 minutes, maybe 4 tops, and got rid of all the bullshit. So she doesn't realize that she can't keep people's attention because it's just, oh, y'all, hold on. She doesn't have a personality to keep people engaged with her bullshit. Some people can. She's not one of them. And I was just looking at this, and she was hating hard. She was not drinking the haterade. She was producing the haterade. She had a haterade factory, and she was working 3 shifts. I was just like, oh, man. So that jealousy, when you see these people, and you just don't look at their backstory, going back to Pharrell and Kanye, they both went through some bullshit in life, early in life. I mean, they went through some hard shit. Pharrell was getting all kind of grief for hooking up with Chad because Chad was Filipino. And then when they started doing the nerd thing, and people were just like, oh, this is so different. Different makes you money. Different makes you money. Being the same, that's pedestrian. Being the same means you're a commodity. And when you're a commodity, you operate on price. And when you operate on price, it's a margin game. And the margin game is usually one of downward pricing pressure. So be different. Don't be a commodity. And that's just a fundamental thing, because I am the jacked up business consultant. I'm the consultant, right? I got the Batman shirt on, right? I actually went to a client's office like this. Batman t-shirt, ball cap on, and her partner looked at me like, is this a consultant? I know the look. I know the look, right? So we get in there, and then when her partner says, yeah, this is the guy that helped us improve revenues 15% last month. Oh, her whole attitude changed. She was like, oh, really? It wasn't very nice to meet you. She looked at me like I was a cockroach and that she wanted to step on me. But when she understood that I was helping her get in the position where she was going to make way more money, and the situation changed. And that's part of the thing about being good. It's about being good. That's something else. You're going to be good with what you do in advance of getting paid. This is how it works. And this is another business fundamental. You're going to work, then get paid. Then you're going to work. That's how it goes in the beginning. It's hard. I don't know of anyone that's really gotten around it. And then one day, you're not going to be working. You're not going to be working that much. And you're going to look, oh, I made money last night. And then you're going to take a week off, and you're going to come back, and you're going to have more money in your account than you had when you left. That's what happens when you build a business. But the work and the effort that goes into it on the front end is so massive that many people can't see over it or through it or around it to someday this is going to work out. Someday could be a few weeks. Someday could be a decade. That's the issue. No delayed gratification. So those are some of my thoughts. Just letting you know why your online business is not making money, why you're not being successful. And it's not a talent issue. It's a knowledge issue. It's a perspective issue, and it's an understanding issue. Once you clear that up and then put your head down and go to work, you'll be amazed at what you can get done. So with that, if you're here at the end of the video, a few things I want you to do. Go. There's going to be an annotation. There's going to be an eye around here somewhere because you can't point at it because they keep moving it. But go ahead, check out Online B School. Check it out. There's a payment plan, and there is a one-time plan, one-time payment, and you're in. And I'm going to talk about what you're going to learn. And this course is different. It's not structured like many other online courses, because I've taken a lot of online courses, and I hate a lot of them because I'm not going to say names because it's their platform, it's their business. But one platform I was using literally forced me to cut up my videos into 4 parts because they had these time limitations. And I know they've understand attention spans and other stuff, but I didn't like it. And I'm just like, okay. And a lot of it was just prescribed, and the brand, it's like, I didn't like it. So you won't get all that junk, and you will not get this. I don't promote in my courses. The course you take, that's what we talk about. You don't hear about anything else in the course here on YouTube and the places you'll hear about. But in the course, I've never promoted another course in one course. I just don't do it. So you're going to get a very different education. Now, I want to say some things that may sound counterproductive. If you're lazy, if you don't have a good work ethic, if you need a lot of hand holding, don't take this course, because the course will be on you to do the work. Now, I do offer consulting services, and they're very fucking expensive. And this is why they're very fucking expensive, because like the lady, I went to her office and they paid me what I wanted. I know she called me one day and I went there, and I was there 2 hours. But see, I was paid. It's like I was glad to do it. But what many people want is for you to do that kind of service, and it is service, and it's an add-on on top of a reduced rate, which means you start feeling cheated. You start feeling resentful, and you don't really do your best. And I don't put myself in that position. So if you want the hands-on, you want the mentorship, you want to be able to pick up the phone and call me or send me, 10 emails a week and get a response, you will have to pay for that, because I will get you results. I will make your business better, but I am not going to work like a $5 hooker on the strip. Not doing it. And that's a business lesson, because you build a good business. You offer great products. You offer great service. You got to learn to hold the line and get your price, because you're going to start to feel bad about yourself and your business because you've sold out. Pay 3 payments of $400 and you're done, or 1 payment of $1,000. And I'll even give you a business lesson on that. I had a lot of people who were doing the $100 payment, and one guy literally emailed Amy 35 times in a span of 24 hours. Made a $100 payment, didn't understand stuff. And it's just like, where is this? Where is this? Where is this? I've signed up, I paid, where is this? And essentially what this individual was trying to do, and he wasn't the only one. There was a girl that was trying to do the same thing. And then there was someone that was halfway, I'm not really sure, to the point that I completely I was like, I refunded, I refunded 5 people their money and said, hey, this course isn't for you. You have a great life. Then I deleted that $100 payment plan, and I went straight up to the $400 or one-time fee. Lesson here. I've had someone pay me $10,000, and I had to call them. And then, okay. Oh, yeah, I need to get on. I had to crack the whip. Now, I've had people pay me $25 and bug the shit out of me. So what I'm telling you is, if you build your service, you build your product, you build whatever, and you make it really good and you invest into it, hold the line. Don't sell out. Do not become a margin whore where you're racing to the bottom, because what'll happen is you'll marginalize your ass out of business. You will. And, people on the channel, they make jokes. We know Glendon, he'll raise a price on you in a heartbeat. I pushed and I lost people. I will admit that. I pushed on one course and I kept raising the price, and people just like would come back a month later. But hey, last month it was this. Can I get it? No. And then I had one guy was like, I'm glad I got in, because I know you'll raise the price in a heartbeat. And you have to educate your customers, because many customers are not necessarily bad, but people are going to get what they can get. They're going to take what they can take. And if you do not educate your customers and have principles, you're not going to be in business very long, because you will be financially raped. That's the world we live in. That's just it. And people just like, oh, that's so harsh. And no. That's reality. That's reality all day long. So if you want that, the course is self-paced, which means I'll give you the breakdown. You're going to get, like, Project YouTube is part of it. So there's modules already there. You can start immediately. Then every week you're going to get 2 to 3 modules until it fills up. And then I add stuff. So you're going to get your self-paced stuff. And then once a week, we're going to have a group hangout, a group private hangout for the people in the course. If you can't make it, it will be recorded. But I want you to make it, and I'm going to be flexible on time because, once again, that's why this is beta versus, well, it's just going to be here at 3 o'clock. No, we're changing around. And if need be, I may do 2 hangouts a week. We'll just see. But essentially, this is going to be the best version of online training as well as classroom training as I can make it. Hence the Google Hangouts, hence the Gumroad account. And then I'm evaluating 3 platforms where you'll have the privacy in the classroom type setting online. I've just learned to try stuff